I went ahead and I ordered 6 different type of batteries from 6 different manufacturers. And that's kind of a first comparison of what all these smaller Chinese companies can do. Each of these battery packs has a kind of unique design. I mean, these two are from the same manufacturer, just this is without color. Because some of these I ordered with stainless steel case, which is nice because, yeah, sometimes in basements it can be a bit wet or humid, and yeah, things like rust we don't want to see. This, for example, you can see some rust here where the paint comes off because this is not stainless. I would love to get your input on what type of design you prefer, which size you prefer, which battery terminals you prefer. And yeah, I want to go over some of these batteries and just get your input on what you like to see, which type of circuit breaker design. Here, for example, I used a double pole circuit breaker because all these single pole circuit breakers, they get a little warm if you really have 100 amps flowing through them the whole time. And it doesn't really matter if you take these really solid ones here, or if you have a more flimsy circuit breaker like these ones. They all get fairly hot. So yeah, maybe this one is the solution. We will see about that. But on the other hand side, I like these robust tactile circuit breakers that make a good sound. You need some power to press them, and yeah, they feel like quality. About the battery poles, I like these battery poles a lot here. There are M8 screw terminals. If you have 2 of them, you can just combine multiple batteries together, and you don't even really need a separate Lynx distributor or some type of DC bus bar. That was the thought, why I thought, okay, why not just putting 2 terminals to each battery? That could be some advantage in some situations. If you have like 2 batteries or maybe even 3 batteries, you can more easily parallel them. And in terms of design and color, for these 2 I decided to go for Victron colors. And the cool thing, I brought this battery here to the Intersolar in Munich, and I spoke to the Victron staff and eventually to Matthias Wader from Victron, and he actually bought one of these because he wanted to test the new JK Inverter BMS. And from Guy Stewart, I got the actual CAN protocol for the Victron system, so the Victron CAN protocol. And I tried to contact JK BMS in order to implement this protocol, but yeah, they were not really helpful. So I also sent the protocol to Andy from the Off-Grid Garage, and he had a little bit more success to get in contact with them. He posted a video red flagging them for not continuing to update the firmware. And yeah, here we are with the newest firmware versions, supporting a lot of features that we requested. I could tell you a lot of stories about working with all these manufacturers, from the design phase to the production to the shipping. There's so much to discover, it doesn't even fit in one video. But yeah, maybe for another time. For example, this manufacturer actually was at the Intersolar as well, and I was borrowing them my battery for their booth actually to show it, which was pretty funny. All the other ones, they were not at the Intersolar, maybe some smaller manufacturers. And also, having a booth at the Intersolar is not that cheap. It costs, like, the smallest ones start at 4,000 euros for the 3 days, so that's not that cheap. and larger ones 10,000, and the one from Victron, I didn't even ask. Probably very, very expensive. But all the stuff was there, and it was really cool to talk to all of them every year again, exchanging new thoughts, new feature requests. And Victron also produced their own battery now. It's more for the marine environment, because last year I was talking to Matthias as well, and he said that it's not really viable for Victron to produce all these server rack type batteries, because there's a lot of competition and a lot of batteries and manufacturers around already. And he recommended me to not do it because I was playing with the thought last year already, because I didn't find a battery on the market that actually fulfills all my requirements. So then I said, okay, fine. Now we have this new BMS with all these features and active balancing. I mean, you don't really need it, but it can be handy, at least at the beginning, and also when the cells age. So I thought, okay, why not? Let's just try it out. And working with these manufacturers, I quickly understood that it's not always that simple. There's most often a language barrier. The sales representative, they speak English, but often the engineers in the factory don't. So then it's really hard for them to get what I mean. And often mistakes happen, and they use the wrong wire size, they use the wrong terminals. I mean, I gave them the design for the front panels, how it's supposed to look, how they have to place all of the parts. This one actually did a great job listening to me, and some others really did not. And sometimes, I'm not happy with the perfect position. Sometimes the screen is a bit too high or too low, or the terminals are a bit too close to the handles. Things like that. And also internally, I gave them a whole list of things that I really value, that are important. Not many really cared much about it. Some of them used aluminium bus bars, stiff ones, and used screw terminals. But I said, hey, if you use aluminium, use the ones that have like a little bend, so that it can expand a little bit if the cells expand. And well, they use stiff ones and they use screw terminals. And they didn't even know about aluminium corrosion between aluminium bus bar and aluminium cell pole. So that's things that should not happen. Not with a name brand manufacturer that claims being around for 10 plus years. So then you know already, hey, some of them are a bit, you shouldn't really consider working with them. But that's why I tried all of these different companies that I found on Alibaba. And the minimum amount of batteries that I have to order is usually 2. They don't make a single prototype. Even 2, I have to beg and say, okay, no, I don't do it if you want more. One of them I ordered 5, from the other 4, and from the 4 remaining I ordered 2 batteries each, which is pretty expensive, quite an expense. But the good thing is I can use all of these batteries in my own projects. And my customers don't mind if it's a prototype. And of course, I open all of these batteries up and I retighten loose screws, for example. I fix some cable related issues if the diameter is too small, if the crimp connections are not good enough, if they use aluminium bus bars with screw terminals, then I exchange them with copper bus bars, for example. All those things. And now you understand why I don't want to order more than 2 batteries per manufacturer, because with literally all of them, I'm not 100% happy. So all of them made some mistakes, some more, some less. Some listened to my feature requests, some didn't. With a lot of them I have stainless steel, I have heating pad inside. Was quite a journey, to be honest, and there's much more to talk about. And yeah, if you're interested, let me know, and I can open up some of these and share the dimensions. I mean, I really favorize the small compact ones. For example, this one has 100 ampere hour inside, and the one that are a bit higher, they have the EVE 105 ampere hour cells, and those are the 100 LA cells. 105, 105, 105, 105, 100, 100, 100. And out of the 100s, this is the most compact one. It's like, it's like 13.5 centimeters high, if I remember correctly. And it's really compact, but also these have a smaller footprint if you just put them on the floor like this. And I oriented the cells in a way that I could also easily install the batteries like this, standing up. There's no problem with aging. Or, yeah. I mean, if they're flat like this, it's the best in terms of overpressure vents. But we already take all of these precautions so that there is nothing really happening in terms of fire. So I think that's all right. Please also let me know what type of battery design you want to see. Does it even have to fit into a server rack? This one, you cannot remove any mounting brackets. With all the others, you have these removable brackets, and it can be also slim like this. This one is 1 centimeter short of the usual server rack style size. But I mean, that's fine. If you have a rail, it's gonna fit nonetheless. You just need some front brackets. But all these things I can consider in battery design. And yeah, also let me know if there is a demand. What do you think? Would you guys like to buy such a battery for a very affordable price with the highest quality that you can imagine? Or rather not, I don't know. Yeah, what's important? Do you need a display? Is it fine without a display? I mean, there are so many options. I think for industrial style, you usually want those server rack batteries that you can pull out on rails to easily swap them out. But then you don't need a display, to be honest. It's fine just like this. And it's also possible to make it a bit more compact without this large front display. Do you even want 2 battery poles, or is it fine to have a single pole per battery pack? I mean, that's the best way to connect it anyways, if you have a large bus bar and the same cable length. But maybe, you know, if you just have 1 or 2 of these battery packs and you're building a small solar system, then I think it's handy to have 2 battery connections. So also let me know your thoughts on this topic. Do you want to mount them on the wall? Do you want to mount them in the rack? Or just put them on the floor like this, or lay them flat on the floor, or put it in a just heavy load shelf? That's much cheaper than buying a server rack.